Nobody else has either. That's in the black people that, hey, we let that fella get that seat to show that, you know, we're pretty nice people, basically. But that little demonstration was just that, a demonstration. We don't intend for that to take root. You know, we don't intend for you people to get any ideas that racism is not the basis for what we believe in. Because it is. It's the only thing that we believe in, because it's the only workable, most successful government, the government of racism, that has lasted so long and run in an efficient manner. Now, we will, you know, tip our hats to you people every now and then and let you find a little opening here where you can demonstrate to us that we have done a pretty good job of raising you. But don't get carried away. Don't think that you're qualified to tell white people what to do, because you're not. Because we taught you, you didn't teach us. Fella, just shut up. What did he keep telling the empty chair? Shut up.
Yes.
You know, don't say anything else. You talk too much anyway. You've had your say. We've let you come. We've let you warm the seat. We've let you drive around, ride around in limousines to get the feel of it, know how it's like. You can go out and tell all your other people, black people, all your little pickaninnies, what life is like in the White House and whatnot. Now, get back to the plantation where you belong. We have always given our Negroes watermelon day out of 1 year on the plantation. We used to do that. Let all the people from the slave shacks come up and throw watermelon rinds all over the tailored lawns of the big house. It would be, we're just going to extend it a little further, because one thing, we want to do a whole bunch of damage, mainly put hits on people, mostly black people, on his watch, so that history will record. What was that black president known for? Well, he really didn't do anything about money. He didn't hardly have any competence about getting anything done, but he helped us to kill a lot of people. That would be the record. I think that's the aim of the white supremacists for Mr. Obama's record. Oh yeah, well now when it came to putting hits on people, in fact, we can always use them to do some droning now, you know. Hey, if you want to be a successful black person, we got some droning we want you to do. We got some people we think ought to be dead, but we don't want to have a record of killing people ourselves all the time. We want black people to be known to be excellent hitmen.
So a non-white person, they say, well, you know, President Obama, he is clearly a non-white person. There is a white person who is working at Wendy's, making minimum wage, struggling. You are not going to tell me that President Obama is inferior to that white person, that President Obama is less than that white person working at Wendy's. What would you say to that?
I would say he's still under the system of white supremacy, and is a white supremacist, according to Mr. Obama himself. He wouldn't have that job.
You're saying if it was not for the white people who practice racism, white supremacy, Mr. President Obama would not be in the White House?
If any black person who forgets that is forgetting a very important fundamental. He couldn't even been running. His name would have not been known. He wouldn't even have had a white mother in Kansas who could teach him anything if the white supremacists had not agreed to that.
If someone in your life is acting suspicious, don't ignore the signs.
If the white supremacists had not agreed to that. See, I'm talking about white supremacy, thinking about it in depth, not just on the surface. There are a lot of black people that think he just walked in there and say, hey, I'm a president, I'm going to be president, and I'm going to be president because I want to be president, and it don't make no difference what you white people think. You walk in there like that.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Campaigner, he said, I'm asking you all to help me. And white people came out in Springfield, Illinois, by the thousands, and took a look at him and said, you know what, I think I'll give this boy a chance. to go through the training that we have given him, you know. Because, you know, and like Mr. Obama himself said, you know, in 4 years you can snatch me out of here anyway. They can snatch him out of there before 4 years.
Damn right.
Yeah, he can give up that seat tomorrow if the white people decide, hey, that's right.
Real shit.
He'll walk right in there, right in the middle of all them papers that are stacked up on his desk. And he's trying to solve problems and all like that. And they walk right in there and they tell him, hey, just like the mafioso, the organized crime, which is what white supremacy is. They just walk in and say, hey, you know, we made a decision this morning. You're out of here.
Just like that.
We got a janitor's job for you at Union Station. And that's where he will be. He came to work at 9, at 10, he's down there putting on his janitor's cap and drawing his equipment out of the storage room for buffing floors.
Facts.
First black president. Photograph of him. You know how Mr. Obama looks.
Yes, sir.
He can look the same way, smiling, behind a broom.
In Beguilin.
In Union Station in Springfield, Illinois. Or whatever the train station is there. Say, how did you go from president to here? White people decided it. Say, well, what do the black people think about that? Well, who cares? They better try to hold on to that janitor's job they got if they got one.
You want to do something? Oh, fast!
Has to be a quantum number, though. It has to be a quantum number. In other words, a large number of non-white people, period. Not only a black male, but black females, too. In other words, people who understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works. That's the first order of business. You have to understand that the entire world is dominated by the white supremacists. And if you have color in your skin, you are a person who has been assigned to be mistreated because of your color, because of the way you were born, because of the way that the creator of you, if you are a person of color, a non-white person, the creator put color in your skin. And the white supremacists are saying, well, regardless of who did it, it means you are eligible to be mistreated by me because I'm a white person and you are not white. So I have the power and the authority and the privilege and all of everything that's supposed to be of benefit is supposed to be around me. And you are only supposed to get what I say you can have because you have color in your skin. Now, the non-white people who understand that this is the setup and this is the dominant government of the entire planet, then the white supremacists will understand that you understand this, and if enough people understand it, people can't go against something about the mind that says you don't go against something that, you can't ignore something that you understand, particularly when it's working against you. That'll keep bothering you until you'll have a tendency to do something about it. Now, that's what the white supremacists do not want. They do not want black people to be logical. They do not want black people to think about anything except something that's real silly and real stupid. This is why they always glorify stupidity in black people. If a black person has a tendency to show stupidity or silliness, that black person, the white supremacists immediately will seize upon them and say, this person doesn't show any signs of being serious about anything. So these are the black people that we want to become more and more prominent. And we will feed into their silliness. Anything stupid that they come up with, or we come up with for them, we will glorify it. As long as it's stupid and silly. Anything that's serious and constructive, we don't want them to be logical. We don't want them to tap into that. That's not the way we want any people of color to ever think. We want them to be celebratory people, the people who are jumping up and down and turning flips all day and running around in a circle. And then when they bump into each other, I mean, they immediately start fighting each other. That's the way we want to keep them. But if you're sitting down and slowly thinking things through and trying to be problem solvers rather than problem makers, no, we don't want those type of non-white people to get out from under our surveillance. You watch them very closely. It's like that dangerous black person on the plantation who's always going around trying to read something or trying to figure things out, asking questions, trying to figure out how the plantation is run. That is a dangerous Negro on this plantation. Sell him down the river or give him a good whipping and stop him from being curious about serious things. Keep him in the silly mode. That is the category that black people are always supposed to be in. The silly mode, the destructive mode. Don't let them think about anything serious, because then they become a danger.
Refresh your space with a mid-century makeover at Ashley. From rich, solid woods to velvet-like textures, you can find timeless styles with a modern twist for every room. It's time to get retro with Ashley. Shop in-store and online.
Jasmine Crockett, you bed wench out there causing mass confusion. You got a battery in your back. She got that little battery in her back, yeah.
All this kind of stuff and dreadlocks and all the rest of it. I mean, to assert our manhood, that's a whole bunch of nothing. I mean, let's face it, we got to deal with truth. I mean, black people more than any people on the earth talk about keeping something real. And we're the most unrealistic people that ever existed in the history of the universe. Because we won't, first of all, tell the truth about our prison-like state and the system of white supremacy. We have to understand the system that we're in and stop pretending. Stop being actors. Stop pretending to be fathers. Stop pretending to be mothers. Stop pretending to be something other than what we are. Victims of white supremacy. Because now some people will say, well, if we look at ourselves as victims, that kills the spirit. No, it doesn't. See, black people want all these wonderful reports. We are great when it comes to drama and pageantry. Right. We want somebody to tell us how great we are because we're just so black and proud. Well, it doesn't make sense in the system of white supremacy. We don't have anything to be proud about. But that doesn't mean that we just go around and forever be heads down, hand dog. Right. It means you do like any people do who have odds against them. Know what the odds are and start codifying how you are going to overcome these odds, and don't spend 5 minutes bragging about yourself. And when you're subject to a system where the system is designed to be insulting, and that's the system of racism, and all non-white people are subject to that system. That's my evaluation. Then you can expect to be insulted each and every day, either directly or indirectly, even when you don't think you're being insulted, even when the insulting language is not used. You're still being insulted by being subject to an insulting system, because the system of racism is insulting, and that's the only system that we have ever known. And when I say we, I mean the people who are classified as non-white. The white supremacists, and that's the correct title for them, on this planet, are the dominant political and religious force and economic force. If you want to use the term economics, I don't use it within that context, but they are the dominant people on the planet when it comes to non-white people. So non-white people can expect. We shouldn't get jolted when we're insulted or call names or anything like that. You can't, there's no way to pretty it up anyway. And when people do try to pretty up an incorrect system, then they're going more into the realm of illusion. And that is going to engender more frustration, confusion, and ultimately disappointment and anger. Because you can't walk around trying to evade reality.
30 fucking years! 30 fucking years! Fuck you! Fuck you, man!
We're in a racist system. We're not in any other system. Racism is not something that people encounter every now and then. We're in a racist system. The entire system is racist. There's no part of the system that is not racist. In every area of activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Now what does that mean? It means that the people who have chosen to be racist, meaning white supremacists, have become the most powerful political and religious people on the planet when it comes to non-white people. People who are classified as black, brown, red, yellow, tan, beige, etc., etc. And so therefore, that's an insult to the system. And so black people have gotten to the place, particularly in the modern times, since what we call the post-chattel slavery, black people expect to be respected. That's why black people kill each other, many of them. Many of the younger black people more than anybody. About this thing called dissing, or being disrespected. You're in a disrespectful system. And all the killing that black people do among each other, all the time, saying you're disrespecting me, therefore I have to kill you, so that you won't disrespect me anymore. And then you run right into the same thing again and again and again. How many bodies can you stack up? Because you are being disrespected in a disrespectful system. If you're classified as black, you're not supposed to be respected. You're on a slave ship. The entire planet is a slave ship. It's not called that, but that's basically what it is. And the destination of that ship is just its own destination, meaning subjugation to the system of racism. There's no black person anywhere on the planet who is not subject to the system of racism. So you wake up in the morning, go through the day, and go to bed that night. And all through the night while you're asleep, you are being disrespected. You are being insulted because you have been put into a prison based on your color. That is one of the biggest insults, not only that a person can receive, but it's really a slap in the face and an attempted insult to the creator of the universe. But the white supremacists don't care about that. They don't mind insulting the creator of the universe. They'll say, I don't like your creation. You made all these black, brown, red, and yellow people and put them among me. I'm supposed to have the planet to myself. And since they're here, though, I will insult them and I will kick them around. You're a product, even though I am your product. I don't want to be bothered with these other products that you made. So actually, they are not only at war with the black people of this planet, they're at war with their creator and with ours. Unless I've been misinformed.
Listen.
Well, to the extent that the white supremacist has anything to do with anything that black people do, they do things that are harmful to black people. That's the answer. The prisoners of war are supposed to be harmed the way that they think. You got color in your skin, you are eligible to be dominated and mistreated. That's what you're born for. That's what they are taught. I mean, it's not even personal. It's just built into the system of government, world government, that if a person has color in his or her skin, in every area of activity, find a way, if you're white, if you're classified as white, have been quote unquote fortunate enough to have been born white, part of your duties, one of your main duties, is to walk around on the face of this earth, and if you encounter, either deliberately or just incidentally, people of color, particularly people classified as black, out of the non-white people, you are automatically supposed to think of a way, regardless of whatever else you're thinking about. If you are classified as white, you're supposed to automatically say, yon goes a person with color in his or her skin. Now, as a duty, as a white person, it is my duty to kind of figure out a way to get over there where that black person is and figure out a way that you can do some type of harm to that person.
If you're using ChatGPT but don't know how to monetize it, watch this video to the end. Alright, step 1, go to Amazon and search for...
And figure out a way that you can do some type of harm to that person. Period. That's the way they are taught. That's the way we all are taught. Black people are taught to treat each other that way. By whom? Directly, indirectly. Through the books and all like that, and through the use of the word dark and black, you know, and the way the word is used, that is outlined in the code book, in the word guide, and in the basic textbook. The way the word has been used, dark or black, something evil, something, you know, that, hey, what is that? Throw rocks at it. Stop it from moving. And if you're not going to stop it from moving it, watch it while it moves and see if it does anything that you can find a way to disapprove of, and then take action against it. Now, when you see yourself that way, you're seeing yourself the way that the white supremacists and most white people on this planet have been taught from birth to react at the sight of a person who has color. The darker, the more foreboding, the more Halloween, the more Walking Dead, the more ghoulish, the more grotesque. That thing is something that brings horror, something that is a terrorist, something evil. They're taught that. So you're supposed to understand that. All right.
Claude Anderson, he recently said, it was almost a mind-blowing point. Claude Anderson said that when black people kill black people, we're actually emulating white people.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not the only one to say that. I mean, hundreds of books have been saying it. I've been saying it. I mean, and black people know that. Black people get up in the morning, a lot of black teenagers, all over the world now, in particular in the Northwestern Hemisphere, it's completely self-evident. This is what all the locks on the doors are about. This is why walking down the street is dangerous. It's because we have got black people walking around all day long looking for an excuse, because we're trying to, particularly black males and a growing number of black females, looking for a way to prove that we are somebody. And the way that we do that is you do harm to another person of color. Find somebody that looks just like you and try to, hey, I'm going to get all over that thing. I'm going to kill that thing. I mean, that thing shouldn't even be here. You know, I shouldn't be here, but I ain't got nerve to kill myself. So I kill him because he looks like me. That's a reflection of me. That reminds me of me. And I can't stand myself, so why could I stand him? And that's why we kill each other by the bushel all over the world as we're speaking right now.
Nice.
And we call it tribalism. We give it all kind of names. Well, you ain't a member of my gang. Yes, you are. You're all fellow prisoners, that's all. But you got prison gangs, all right? And the warden says, well, hey, let them kill each other. I mean, hey, less burden on the taxpayer. We're tired of running ambulances for these Negroes. Oh, yes, but see, you have to codify your approach to any black person. And that is, for one thing, you can't get in an argument with black people, period.
Hell no.
I mean, we got to stop arguing. The minute the argument starts, according to the code, then you say, I will talk to you some other time. A brother or sister or whomever you're talking to, and you always have something else to do once the argument starts. All right, do not feed that argument, because that's going to, black people, we go at each other. We do not do togetherness very well at all. We have to admit that, because we have been loaded with poison, and all of us have been affected by that poison. This is important to remember. I mean, super over the top important. We all carry poison. It varies in degrees in different parts of the world, but Rwanda shows it. Every neighborhood where you find black people clustered together.
The pineal gland has tiny little cilia, hair-like.
Facts! See Jasmine Crockett, hood rat ass, out there capping. Out there capping once again. Hypocrisy in that little hood rat biatch.
Every neighborhood where you find black people clustered together, it is pure poison all over that place.
Facts.
I mean, you name it, it's poison. I mean, and we cannot even speak to each other for 15 minutes without that poison coming to the surface.
Yes, sir.
Particularly in the northwestern hemisphere. I mean, I hear people outside my window on a Saturday night, and I've heard it all of my existence on this planet. And sometimes just talking on the phone. People just passing by the building. All right? And what do I hear? I can recognize sometimes what we call a black voice. And it's practically screaming and yelling every type of curse word that you can possibly think of in the English language. And most likely, for sure, talking to another black person, because that's how we communicate. And talking about what we are going to kick when I see you next time. All right? You better not be there when I get there. I mean, you can believe that. Yeah, now you be there when I get there, because I'm on my way over there right now.
Motherfucker.
And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm tired of telling you. Now that's the kind of conversations you hear. You hear just walking down a sidewalk.
Here, Jasmine.
I mean, we are some kind
Jasmine
of...
Crockett done brought that shit to the motherfucking, the White House, the Capitol, with that hood rat shit.
10 black people and you can almost feel it coming. But when we're joking around, it's hostile. Hostility. Now, every now and then we'll kind of,
laugh it off.
Have a facade of kind of breaking that up into a whole bunch of high fives and hugs, which is 99% phony. All right? Because right behind it is going to be the pop of the 9mm.
Right.
That is our Bible. And if not that, some type of dagger recently been using a lot of knives, because gunplay gets you deeper into trouble with the white supremacists. All right, we know we got the answer to the white supremacists even when we slaughter each other. I don't care whether it's in the Congo or Rwanda or South Central or South Side Chicago or Washington D.C. anywhere. Okay, where you have black people, you have that built-in hostility. Man out.
Facts.
Kill you. Don't you know I'll kill you? Don't you understand that I kill you? You keep on running your mouth. I'll kill you. I can kill you. Yeah. And I'll settle with the consequences later. To prove that I'm a man. Yeah. We're taking all that black males and a growing number of black females who are trying to be males. Right. Because they'll find out that they have to be just to survive. Act like the males, dress like them, talk like them, get that swag, all of it. You can't be a man in the system of white supremacy. That's absolutely impossible. Not Neely Fuller, not a college professor, not anybody. There's no such thing as a black man in the system of white supremacy. Being an old boy, I mean, you know, talking about our elders or whatnot. They're just old boys. That's all they are in the system of white supremacy. Let the white supremacists come around and see how quick they go from man to boy. How, hey, I don't take no stuff. Oh, yeah? You don't take no stuff? I mean, when the white supremacists come around, you don't take no stuff? I mean, you can't survive without them. They let you breathe, mister. Stop lying to yourself and stop trying to prove it to the boys in the hood. Because when boss man show up, or boss woman, okay, because, oh yeah, you can push the white woman around when ain't nobody looking. But the white supremacists get on your tail. I mean, you're going to be, yes, master, no, master, maybe so, Bwana. Cut me a little slack, Bwana. Don't send me back to the prison again. Don't lynch me again. Don't do this again and again and again like you did my grandmama. Oh, no. See, all the facade, all of the nonsense goes out the window when master comes around. Every black professor, every black guy hanging out on the street selling drugs, we all know this. But our biggest problem is we keep lying to ourselves about how powerful we are and how great we are because we built the pyramids. That won't go get you not one dime worth of nothing in 2019.
I'm probably the only person online who shares every single one of my trades completely for free. I live stream on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok.
We're not thinking about what's coming at us at all because most people don't even have an idea that such a thing as white supremacy exists. When it controls everything, if you're black, everything that you're doing, the white supremacists control. Even when you think that you're controlling something. The average black person wakes up in the morning and say, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Well, you're going to do this and you're going to do that on whose terms? I mean, when you walk out your door and the street that you walk on, who determines what street that you're going to be on? Even when you walk out what you call your door. Because your door might not even be your door. Your door may be something that you owe somebody for. Have you thought of that? You say, this is my door. This is my house. Is it really? When you stop to think, who really owns your house? Are you beholden to anybody? I mean, is this a house that you built on the street that you built in the place that you decided it would be? Or was the place already there and somebody told you it might be a good idea for you to go over there and take a look and then move in? Move in on what? On whose terms? On your terms? Not likely. On somebody else's terms. And who is that somebody else, ultimately? Who is it? Have you ever asked? Have you ever thought about it? Do you really control your existence on this planet? The average black person, particularly black males, you know, we got this thing about, you know, physicality. If I take off my shirt and I got big bulging muscles, I mean, somehow that's a cure-all for everything in the world. I'm a black male and I got strong muscles. I can lift weights and I can run down the street faster than anybody else and get where I'm going. That somehow makes me a strong black man. And that's all I need. I got these bulging muscles. I'm fit and I'm trim. I love to take my shirt off, particularly, you know, in the summertime and whatnot. I don't want to wear a shirt at all. I take my shirt off so people can see my strong muscles. Okay. And I can lift things. I can go here and I can go there. But have you ever stopped to think about what you can use your muscles for? Or against? And what's the product? Is this all that you have? Do you have anything else to show for your being on this planet up to now? Do you have a plan for the future that goes beyond just you taking up the sidewalk, making people walk around you when you come down the sidewalk because you're in the middle, and they have to go past you, the ladies with the baby strollers and all like that, because you are, hey, your own man, or are you really a man? Because the people who, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, there were a lot of strong males, strong black males, but I tend to believe they were people who understood their position in the system of white supremacy. That's why they had signs. Now these are people that lift garbage pails. You got to be strong to do that. But they had signs saying what? I am a man. People right now can go to their computers and punch up the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated, April 1968. And there in Memphis, Tennessee, Martin Luther King was there to help the garbage workers, who were all black, I understand, to get higher wages. And these garbage workers, these sanitation workers, proud people who, many of them, I mean, were, you might call it that day, pillars of the community and in the church and all like that. But they were sanitation workers. But they were also saying, yeah, even though we're sanitation workers, we should be getting a decent wage. But they didn't have signs saying we should be getting a decent wage. They had signs saying, almost in unison, there are photographs of it. That's a historical record. Saying what?
I am a man.
I am a man. M-A-N. Like Muddy Waters even had a song saying, man, man, you know?
Right.
Over and over again. And when black people, and they don't say it so much nowadays, they say dude, but black people used to use the word man all the time back in the 40s and 50s. Why? Right. You had to keep saying that to kind of reassure yourself that that's what you should be. You should be treated like a man, you know.
Not a mook. How they trying to train the agenda on men, turning them to mooks.
You know, I mean, even when black people would say it to each other, "Hey, boy," you know, "Hey, well, you know, man, hey, I'm a man. I'm 3 times 7." That was a common saying. 3 times 7. That makes me 21. You know, I'm a man. And if you don't believe I'm a man, I'll prove it to you. Meaning I will do harm to you physically. That's what it meant in the old days. But see, black people had to keep saying that to each other. And finally they had to start saying it to white people, but the white supremacists said, "There's only going to be one man on this planet." There's only going to be one man on this planet. And you boys who want to be men, I tell you what, after Martin Luther King is dead, I'll make a deal with you. You'll go from boys not to men, you'll go from boys to women.
To women. Yep.
Yes. I will degenderize you.
And that's their agenda. Keep talking your shit.
You'll love acting like your sisters and love being that way and go around looking for another male to do things with you in the bed like you're a female.
Listen.
No, I've never done that because I've never run into anybody, any white people who had the same last name as me. I've never had. I've never run into a person named Fuller who was white. In my entire existence, I haven't run into that person. But if that person would ever contact me, according to the code, page 95 in the textbook for victims of racism, that you can get by going to producejustice.com, I'll just put that note in there. You know, if you happen to encounter, your name is Jones or Johnson, I mean, you should, and that person is white, you have the same last name as that white person, and you're a person that is black, well, according to people like whom they call the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that's where our names came from. in the Northwestern Hemisphere. Black people's names came from white people who owned them, their family chain. So it's logical under compensatory law that these are the people who should step forward. In fact, white people who are named Johnson should try to find black people who are named Johnson and say, how can I help you? Because, hey, my ancestors, you know, I was able to be successful based on your captivity.
Okay.
And everything that I have now as Mr. William Johnson, and I'm a white person, and I got all this money, and you know, and I'm doing well, and all of the Johnson family going way back. I mean, hey, we've done quite well.
Okay.
But you people, you black people named Johnson, you haven't been doing too well. So when I run into a black person named Johnson, and I'm a white man, and my name is Johnson, I say, Mr. Johnson, I mean, you know, my ancestors probably owned your ancestors just like I own you now, directly, indirectly, under the system of white supremacy. So is there any help that I can give you? Let me know. You say, is your name Mr. Jones? Mr. Jerry Jones? And if he says yes, you say, well, my name is Jones, you know, and we may have something in common, you know. And do you think that we should discuss this, if you're willing to?
Oh, okay.
And if he will, fine.
Okay.
But if he won't, I'm quite sure he'll tell you. Seek to have all white persons who have the same last name as yourself. You can start right there in your school or wherever you are, if you're in the Army or anything, okay, to give you direct help in some or all of your financial, technical, and or educational efforts. Now notice I was very specific. Yes. Page 95 under economics in the revised expanded edition of the textbook. Seek to have all white persons who have the same last name as yourself. For instance, family name, historical title, etc. And have that person give you direct help, because you're asking for help.
Yes.
White people are in position to help most black people. They really are.
Facts.
Some white people are not. But most white people can give some kind of help.
Facts.
Even if it's what I have listed here. Financial. Most white people have more money than black people.
Facts.
Technical.
Facts.
Technical.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm going to say that again. Most white people have more money in the Northwestern Hemisphere, I don't know about other places, than most black people.
Yes.
I mean, the statistics show that. Jobs and whatnot, you get more money. So financial, that would be first.
Yes.
Financial help. All right. Technical. You know, a white person say, I don't have no money, buddy. I mean, you know, hey, I'm struggling. I'm just trying to make it. And he'll be telling the truth. Or she. So you say, well, maybe you can give me some technical assistance. Technical how? Anything, any kind of information. Where can I get a job? Who do I talk to? Give me a phone number of somebody who can help me solve my problem, whatnot. That's technical information. And or educational efforts. Can you help me to learn something that I don't know, that I need to know? These are the things I have listed. Financial, technical, and or educational. And you do that with somebody who has the same last name. People are always saying, including white people,
just found out this dirty little secret that this ex-insurance executive exposed on TikTok. Here's a little...
How do you solve this race problem? What's the best way to go about doing it? Well, you can just start with your family name. I mean, you know, let's just talk to white people. You know, we got to get somewhere. We got to start somewhere. What's the best place to start? This might be one of them. Well, you just start with the family name, all right? And that's a direct line. Hey, you know, my father, you're Mr. Thomas, you know? I come from a long line of Thomases. I mean, we never moved outside of that line. This is a white person talking. And so, oh yes, the original Thomases, of South Carolina, we had slaves like you wouldn't believe. I mean, you know, and we named all of our slaves Thomas.
Okay.
All right? So you might be one of the people, who you're not doing well here in 2018. You might be one of our slaves going way back.
Okay.
All right? So, hey, since I'm going to start helping people to get along and whatnot, I'll just start with the Thomases.
Okay.
All right? Every white person should be doing that. I mean, really, initiate it themselves.
All righty.
But if they don't, well, black people should put it on their minds, which is what we try to do with page 95.
Okay.
Right, he could be going way back in history, one of the owners of the people who passed the name down to me.
Yeah.
All right? And I would say, these people, I request right now on the air, if they hear about this, get in touch with me. I mean, I invite you to get in touch with me if you want to be of help to one of your, people that you got a lot of help from.
Okay.
According to the history books that have been written by white people, unless they lied. I don't think they lied about that because they bragged about it. How many slaves they own.
Yeah, yes.
So if Mr. Fuller out there, Mrs. Fuller out there, wherever you happen to be, even going all the way back to Buckingham Palace, if there's any Fullers there, I mean, you probably have something if you're in Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, you probably
So you can probably deliver something to me right away and help me in my quest to do what? Produce justice. Replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice.
Okay.
And I think that's an honorable goal to be associated with the white Fullers of this world.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Listen.
Well, food is poison. I mean, all of it, you might assume, has poison in it because the white supremacists, they don't really care about longevity, apparently. And other people have said that. They don't make a big deal out of that. They just like to do what they do. They mostly just like to swagger around and push people around. And they'll do it as long as they can. And, they're mostly bored with everything that has to do with anything else. Because that's just the way the white supremacists think. They just like to kick people around. I mean, it's for fun, for glory, and material gain. And they'll do it as long as they can and try to come up with new ways of doing it because they get bored with doing it the same old way. To them, it's what existence on the planet is really all about. It's not about anything else. That's why they glorify violence. I mean, all the food and whatnot and the guns and whatnot. And these are just ways of going about doing stuff, I mean, to mess with people. So they'll look at food and they'll say, well, everybody's got to eat. And since I'm in charge of all the food anyway, I mean, I think that I don't want to kill these people outright. So I'll just poison the food and ship it to them. And they won't know. How do they know? What do they know about anything? I mean, and I'll make it taste good. I'll put plenty of sugar in it or whatever it is that they can get addicted to, and they'll want it and they'll demand it. And I'll send them some soft drinks and I'll put poison in that because there's nothing but poison anyway. That's why I call it soft drinks. I mean, they can drink water. That's the best thing they can drink. But I'm going to put some chemicals in this water and put it in their schools so that even when they start out as young people, their minds are being poisoned. They're sitting up there nodding off in class and whatnot because it's what they go to the machines, they're going to get a whole bunch of poison because it's nothing but a whole lot of different coloring and whatnot and a lot of different water. And I don't really care because, and they will be functional enough to do my bidding, but they'll be mostly just kind of walking around all drugged up. And that would be my introduction to them getting on other drugs later on.
If someone in your life is acting suspicious,
fact,
don't ignore
100% fact.
Introduction to them getting on other drugs later on.
Hit him up with that jab.
Minimize conflict.
Hit him up with that jab 19.
Minimizing all unnecessary or non-constructive contact. Now, when it comes to black males and black females in the northwestern hemisphere, in the system of white supremacy, you will never be able to get it the way it ought to be. Now, everybody has to understand this. We're in a prison system. So actually, all of our so-called relationships will be nowhere near what they ought to be, because we are not in circumstances that should prevail.
Okay.
The system of racism will not allow it. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that ain't true and all like that. Well, go ahead and do what you're going to do. But the system of racism will not allow it to be the way it should be. Now, you can get it to be workable, but it's going to have a lot of defects. All relationships between black males and black females are full of flaws, riddled with flaws. That's going to be permanent, and it's getting worse. Look forward to that. It's going to get worse. Why? Because the white supremacists have decided that they're going to set it up so it will get worse.
Okay.
So that black females and black males will not be able to get along with each other in harmony in the system of white supremacy.
Okay.
That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
That is not. And if for those who think that it can happen or that you can make it happen, you're thinking it. There's a lot of things you just don't know. You're hiding from yourself.
Exactly. Hiding it from yourself. They got them batteries putting them house niggas back to keep mass confusion amongst the African American community. And Nearly Fuller pretty much narrowed it down to it's too many organizations in these African American communities. So they will never come together. God damn it. Never. And they will have these house niggas out there with batteries in their back, capping once again to keep our domain tight. Keep them confused. And that's what Jasmine Crockett is doing. And most of them house niggas are doing. Keeping black folks confused.
It's hiding the truth.
Okay.
You can guarantee that, because it's not set up to have the harmony that you want. The black females, their minds are set to go one way, and the black mind, male mind, is set to go another way. Set by whom? By racist man and racist woman. But we're not even aware of that. And we are not on the same page. And we're not going to be on the same page as long as we're in the prison system called the system of white supremacy. That's a guarantee. You're going to have these conflicts. Okay. All right? And you can make it work somewhat, have it workable, that's all. Nowhere near what it ought to be.
Okay.
But you can have some type of relationship, but you got to understand it's going to be loaded with poison.
Yes.
Loaded with poison. All of our relationships are going to be loaded with poison.
Yes, sir.
Because the white supremacists have made us loaded with poison. Well, the white supremacists do all sorts of things, but there's one thing you can count on. If a white person believes in white supremacy, there's one thing you can count on. They do not make any move of any kind, ever, unless it's going to add strength to the system of white supremacy. And they are so deceitful at making these moves. They're the best checker players ever when it comes to racism. Okay, and counter racism. They know what moves black people are going to make before black people even think about making the move. All right, because after all, they raised us, if you can call it raising. I mean, we haven't had no teacher other than them. Okay, so they give us all our values. They tell us that a pair of shoes is more important than a black person's existence.
Fact.
All you got to do is put a label on the side of it, and you can get that black person killed this evening. Right by his own schoolmate. Will kill him. Not for the shoes, because he's already wearing shoes. It's for the label that's on the shoes. You will die. You will die a miserable death by the hand of somebody that lives 3 blocks from you. Where you find black people on the planet. We will slaughter each other because the white supremacists say, kill him for that pair of shoes that I gave you, boy. You know, I knew when you walked out of here that was your death sentence. I sold you those shoes for $700, and I figured by the time you got halfway where you're going, you were going to be dead. I already knew that when I sold you the shoes, and I knew who was going to kill you. All right? and I'm going to get a two for today. And I knew that I was going to get the guy that killed you. So, I mean, I got to get rid of two of y'all today. Real easy. And make you pay for it. That's what I've been saying all down through the years, and I hope that it catches on. I hope that people understand it, because we are not trained by the white supremacists, and they're not going to. There'll be a universe within ourselves as individuals, because they know that anytime we try to get what we call a group together, oh, that's tailor-made for them. They can bust that up in 5 minutes, all right? All you need is a 2 or 3 black people to get together and call themselves anything. Put a label